Hi, in this video we're going to talk about certifications and certification management. I will talk about how certifications can be added by end users, managers, and administrators. I will show you the reporting so you can see exactly what certificates you have from each vendor, what certificates are active, about to expire, and has expired. I will also show you how you can connect certificates to, for example, the requirements for a role, a department, a team, or competence area, and how you can add training material related to this. I will show you how end users can set goals for when they should fill up and acquire a certificate, or how you as an administrator or managers can add goals to employees in regards to certifications. So let's get started because we have many things to go through. Let's start first by adding certifications. If you are creating a new instance of MuchSkills and you want help to upload your current certifications from a list or something like that, make sure to contact us and we will help you. You can always contact us using the little icon in the bottom right where you can send a message to us directly. Now, certificates can be added by a user, and how they do that is that they will go to My Skills, and here you will find certifications. They can tap here and they can simply type in the issuing organization that have the certificate, for example, AWS. They can click here on certificate name and they can then add the specific certification they would like to add. For example, certified cloud practitioner, there's a license number. I can add the date I acquired it and the date it expires a few years later. It is possible to upload a proof file, such as like a diploma or anything else. And I can also add a certification URL. Once I'm done, I could save this and it will now be added as a certification here. You can also see that I already have a PMP certificate. Now, if I go to my personal profile, which then displays all my skills and certificates, which I do in the top right and view, you can scroll down here and you will see that I now have my 2 certifications here. So a beautiful way for me as an individual to showcase this. Sometimes you maybe want to, though, add the certification as an administrator or a manager. To do that, if you're a manager, you go to My Circle. In My Circle, the manager can see all the different members they're managing, both from the current level and sub-level and sub-level and so on. I can tap, for example, on this person here, and I can see here that Ansgar, he have goals, he have this, and here it says 1 expiring certification. That's good. So it's about to expire. I can actually click here to nudge him. So I'm going to do that. To add a certificate, I can click validate, and here I have competence areas. I can then see that he have social selling certification course, he have Facebook certified advanced marketing developer, and I can add a new certification to Ansgar. For example, I could add AWS, and let's do the storage technologist. Once again, I can fill in the license number and I can add the expiration date, and I can click save, and this certificate is now added by me. Since it's added by manager, there's a validation symbol that shows that this is validated by somebody. Just on the side note, just so you know, if you not everything is certifications, maybe you have some training that you've done, there is a tool called validated competences, and you can add something like a badge for an employee. For example, I can add a badge for any person that done their security compliance training level 1. I can tap here and I have added this badge or a special training badge for Ansgar. So there are many ways to do it. If you want to know more about badges and validated skills, there's a special video under MuchSkills website. Go to MuchSkills website, go to resources and help, and there you can find more. Perfect. So this is how a manager can add certificates to employee. Now, an administrator wouldn't do the same thing. An administrator can go to team, org, and settings. Here you can go to manage members. And this is a great way that makes it so much easier. Here we have Ansgar again, and I can tap, and you can go to competences, and once again, you can give out validated competences, meaning a badge like this, or I can add a certificate if I want to do that as well. So you have any opportunity here to kind of give out certificates, badges, or validations of different types. When you're here, just a quick tip, you can always use filters. So if you only want to see people in the engineering department or only people in New York for the engineering department, it's super easy to use these filters. So don't miss this because it makes it so much easier to filter out and add things. So this was how you add certifications. So where will all this data then reside? Well, you can go to reports. Here you will find certifications. So you can see all certificates. It will show a report of all our 37 certifications. I can see them over 4 different pages. If you want to, you can change here and you can say, oh, show all certificates. If you want to, you can use the menu up here. Here you can see certificates that are added by employees, and validated is certificates added by managers or administrators. So you can actually separate them if you want to, or you can see them all together. When you're here, you can tap on any certificate to see a full list of all the individuals that have the Google Ads video certification. If you only want to see people with active certificate, tap on the black bar and you will see those two here. If you want to see that are about to expire, you can click here and what have expired here. And you can tap on anything here to get more details about the specific certificate. Now, as you can see, this is all certifications we have, but maybe you don't want to see like all of them. You want to see it by vendor. Tap here and I can say only AWS certificates, or only HubSpot, or only Google. And it's super easy for you to then get a nice overview depending on the vendor that have issued this specific certificate. There's also a special list here. You can see active. So here you can see quickly like all the active certificates, all the expiring, and what has expired. So it's really easy for you to follow up and keep track of what's going on of each certification type and like if they are active or expired. You can also click by vendor and you will see all the different certificates and by vendor list instead. So there are many different ways. Now, maybe an organization have a lot of certificates. We can offer then something called lists. So list is simply that you can create a list of certifications that are very specific to what you need. So here you have, for example, the 25 best digital marketing certifications that we are tracking, and I can create these lists. How you can create this list is that you go to Team, Org, and Settings, Manage Certifications, and here I can create a certificate list. It's really simple, easy. Actually, you click here and I can just type in the certificate name and I can then add it. So for example, for this list, I could just type AWS and here I have storage technologist. I can tap and it will now be added to this list here. If I go back, you can click create certificate list and you can create a new list if you want to as well. Let's go back to reports and my list and you will then see that this is added to the list here. So I can click 100 and then you can see all the different certificates and how many you have of each, and I just added that AWS certificate. And also here you can filter by vendor, so here it is. And you can tap and you can see it's Ansgar that I just gave a certificate. One thing that I want to kind of tip you on here, if you are a manager and you're viewing this video, you will only see your team and any sub-team in this report. You will not see the entire organization. If you're an administrator and you want to give somebody full access to all reports, you need to change their access role to be an analyst. This is done under Team Org settings, and you can manage members and you can change that there. Here though, when I'm here and you maybe see all data or part of data, you can use filters. This is super useful. You can tap, for example, on design, and I now only see the certifications in the design department, or engineering department, or HR, or you can combine HR and HR. Like you can do anything you want really. You can do it by business locations, or you can use tags. So maybe I only want to see people that have a senior role, or what certificates do we have there? Or maybe people that are in a cross team called product management. I mean, anything you want is possible here. One of my favorites is also this manager filter. So I can say, well, okay, this is great, but I want to see Ansgar and his team. What skills do they have? Oh, sorry, certifications do they have? And I tap and I will see that. So any kind of view you can imagine is possible. It is also to create a time range, meaning that you can say that I only want to see certificates that have been added or issued within the selected date range. So that's also perfect. I can do that and I can filter out and I can understand, for example, during March, like what certificates were added, or April or February or March or whatever it may be. So there are many opportunities here for you to kind of go in and do these reports. Now, I want to show you another type of report you can make as well. If you go to Team, Org, and Analysis, we have analytic lists. Sometimes we want to combine. It's great that we have like a certification that is just based on, for example, like many certificates, but we want to connect it to something so it's easier for end users to understand. So I have prepared a little bit. Here is different roles that I have created. There's a role called product manager. And I have defined a bunch of skills that are super important. I've also added some other things. I have added PMP certification, and I added security level training, meaning badges, and I also added something called special awards. I can go here and I reset the filters, and I can then analyze the entire workforce and see, okay, of the people that are product manager, how many do have the PMP certification? How many have done the security level training one? So it means that you can now take this certificate and kind of clearly connect it to something that the organization need to be aware about. And what's even better is where it's displayed. So let me show you. You go to My Growth and Gap Analysis. This is something that's available to every employee, and it is a personalized analysis of all the roles in the company, which happens to be 34 in my example here, and their fit to each role. It clearly shows the requirement of what skills I need to have, but also what certificates I need to have and what trainings and badges. So this is product manager. We have defined all the skills, and you remember the PMP certification? Well, it is here as well. It clearly shows that you need to have the PMP to have this role. And it is shown because practical skills is indicating the most important skills, certifications, and badges you need to have. We also have something called remaining skills. This shows then, skills are really good to have if you're a product manager, and it also shows badges that I should acquire. So you can see security level training 1 and 2 I'm lacking. It would be good for me to do that training. And we have leadership competence, we have all these other ones, and I can also add badges to these if I want to. What's extra nice with this is that it's easy for an employee to see what is required, but if they forgot a certificate, they can easily add it. They can simply tap on this little blue thing here, and they can then modify if something is not correct or add a certification super quick. So now let's go back and again to analysis. This is great. So maybe we could create some kind of report that shows some certificates that we want to track and map that are important for us. So let's do that. Okay, so you can either use AI to create this type of lists, or you can just create one manual. So for this case, I will do it manually because I know what I want to add. So I click on this plus here, and so this is going to be Google certification tracking. Perfect, looks good. I just click create the list and I have immediately added it. What I can do now is that I can go in and start to search for different certificates. Simply click here, it says add competence to list. If I do that, you will see all the skills, you will see all this, you will see certificates. Simply type in the certification name that you want to add, and I can now click Advanced Google Analytics, for example. So I added that certificate. I can now do the next one here. So I want to add this one. So I add that one. I want to add Google Analytics for power users. So I'm going to add that as well. Very good. So as you can see, I can easily add multiple certifications in an easy way like this. Now, I will not add too many. I think these 4 is enough. I want to do one more thing. I have my list here, and some certificates are maybe extra important. You can highlight them by tapping here to say these are prioritized, these are extra important. Once I've done all this stuff here, I can then use this report to see different things. I can click on relevant members, and I can see all the employees, what certificates they have and what they don't have. Okay, so prioritize, I can immediately see all the people that have their certificate that are prioritized, and you can see in black if they are like active, yellow if they're about to expire, and in red if they have expired. So it's really easy for me to quickly figure out how it looks like in different ways. If you go back to Skills Analyzed and we click up here, there's another nice thing we can do. Remember I talked about badges? You could actually combine it. You could say, well, let's add these security training badges as well. And now when we go back to this list, you can see people who have these badges, and you get a full view of, for example, the most important certificates, the most important badges. And by simply clicking on relevant members, we can then see all the individuals that have these different things and how it looks like. If you want to, you can make this list available for everybody and make it public. Simply go to Launch List, click Launch here, and then change and do everyone. Now this list is actually available, which is really, really nice. And I will show why this is important. But before I do that, I just want to show some other cool things you can do. There is your personal skill gap analysis. So you will see your skill gap. This here is good because if you happen to have these certificates, you can just tap and you can quick add them very quickly when it comes to these different certificates. You can also see related learning material. So this would be learning material connected to this specific list. Perfect. Now let's go here to my growth and gap analysis. So this is great. I made this list and I publicized it. And here you can see all the different roles and lists we have in the company. I could, if I want to, just take and search and you will find the Google certification tracking. Here are my prior tasks and remaining. This means I can make this public for all employees to easily see, and they can tap and they can quick add the most important certificates, not only for a role, but maybe you have an entire list that you want to create. Now, I want to show you some more things here that I think is important. So what happened is that we have changed a little bit around, and there are multiple certificates that are important. So I'm going to go back to my analysis. I'm going to go back to this Google certification list that I had. I think here, Google certification tracking, perfect. And I'm going to change it. I'm going to click here on edit, and it's going to be compliance. So it's just general compliance. Compliance certification tracking. That sounds good. This is the name I want. I click save. So there's another certificates I need to add, and I need to kind of guide all our employees on these new certificates. So we decided to work a little bit with AWS, and here is AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to add that certificate here. So I'm going to paste it in. Perfect, here it is, and I add it to the list. This is great. It is now added here to the list. I can see there's one person. I can tap here to see exactly who that is. Looks great. Now, also, I want to add that new certificate to another role. So I can go here to this business analyst, actually need a certificate. So I'm going to tap here and I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to add that certificate here as well. I'm going to go down, I'm going to review and see how that looks like. Yeah, this is great. And I'm going to make it required because I think it's extra important. Perfect. This is a good start. I'm now guiding the employees. So if any employee go to my growth gap analysis, they could either go to the role called business analyst. So we can actually search for it quickly. So here's the business analyst, and we can now see that the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner is required for this specific role, or like prioritized. Or we can go to our certification list, compliance certification tracking. The AWS is now added. So this is great, but I want to guide employees like where they can go and acquire the certificate. If you see here, there's like a little course button. If I tap here, it will show any related learning material connected to this specific list I created. But as you can see, there's no learning material. So let's add some. You can either add the learning material here directly if you want to, or you can go to My Growth and Learning Library. And here will be all learning material connected to all skills and everything. And MuchSkills comes automatically with over 400 resources, and about 300 of them are free. But I want to add a new one. So you can either add it where I showed it before, or you can click Add Course here. So it's actually really easy. Go to AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. I can copy this link. I go back to my learning library, paste it in, click Get Page Details. So what MuchSkills does, it goes out and it will kind of check that page and see, okay, can I extract some metadata from it and automatically fill it in for you? And yes, it could. So it's adding it here and doing this. Amazing. Access type free? No, sorry, it costs money, so I'm going to say paid. It could be beginner, it could be intermediate as well, so I can say what levels it is. If you want to, you can put in some eternal nodes. But most important is that you will now add the certificate name here. So I will go in here and I will copy the name, and I can connect this learning material to this specific certificate. It means that when somebody is viewing the certificate in some way where there's courses, classes connected, it will then display this certification here. So I added that here. Perfect. This looks really, really good. I can also connect it to skills. So I could start typing AWS. We actually have a AWS Cloud Administrator. I know this is not perfectly correct, but I will still add it and say, well, this is what we require for this specific skill. You can even connect it to a competence name. So you could connect it to a badge or something similar if you want to as well. Once you're done, you just click Save, and it's now added as like another available resource. Now let's go back to My Growth and Gap Analysis. And let's search for that certificate list that I just created. Here we go. Now, if you click on that course button, it will show this resource. So it makes it so easy and nice for me to connect the resources, the providers that we are using to that specific certification. Now I want to show you one more tip. Here is like my gap analysis. And maybe I need to take this certificate. So let's say pretend I don't have it. I can go to team or to goals, and here employees can add development goals. For example, I'm currently, learning negotiation. I'm going to become intermediate, but I'm going to need to reacquire this certificate or update it or something else. Sorry. So we can see here different type of skills. There we go. Sorry, AWS. So we can then go and look for the different things here we want to add, and we can then add different certificates. So you see like every certificate is easily displayed here, and I can then add the different goals I want to have. So in this case, maybe we have AI practitioner, and we can then add a certification-based goal, meaning that I want to acquire this specific certification. So I can then go in here and I could add self-training, I can add dates, times, I can add a goal buddy, somebody will help me, and I can also set the date when this will be acquired, and I can click create. Now, for me to be able to add the other certification, I actually need to go and remove my current certificate because it's there. So I'm just gonna remove certification. Perfect. So let's go back to goals again, and I can copy this and I can add it. So now I can also add this certificate, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do self-training, and I can say this needs to be done latest here, and I can create it. So you can now see that I have multiple goals of acquiring certificates. And if I click on this little button, it will show me any related learning material connected to my development goals. You will see here the AWS certificate, and you can also see other related things like, for example, learning negotiation. So all that learning material will also be connected here when I create my goals. So very, very important. You're creating an entire ecosystem of all the learning material. Now, what is extra cool is, let's go back to Team Org and those reports. So here I said, well, here you can see all certificates you have. You can see it by vendor, and we can say we can see all our AWS certificates. But you can also see the certificates you will have. So let's go to growth. Here you can see all the goals. Go to open goals. Here's all the goals of organization, about 235 different skills people are upskilling in, and here's categories. You can now go in and you can filter, and I can say, well, I only want to see certifications upskilling. So now you can see the goals I added. This means that you can tap here and you can see what type of upskilling happening, when it will happen, the dates and times and everything. And you get a full list and understanding of what you will have when it comes to certifications and in this way. So in conclusion, when it comes to this data, it means that you can easily collect all certification that you have, when they expire, what's going on. You can, as managers, add all these certificates. So you get a full list of all certificates in the entire organization, both user added and validated by managers or administrators. But you can make it super clear for anybody what certificates that are required for each and every role or a competence area or a specific list. And you can see all ongoing upskilling right now that are certifications, so you can understand not only your current state, but your future state of the certifications you will have. So this was a quick view of everything. Now, I also want to tip you on MyCircle. MyCircle is a great way for you, if you're an administrator, to go here and you will then see all the certificates you have. So you can see here there's 100 certificate, 46 active, 34 expiring, 20 expired. So this is a great way for you to quickly get an overview and understand kind of like, oh, how is the current state? If you happen to be a manager watching this, let's say your view will be a little bit different because you will see only for your team or your group in this called My Circle. I also want to remind you that you can tap on any of your direct reports to see if there are any expired certificates, and you can nudge them automatically by simply clicking here, and an email will be sent out, and the tracking will be here also that, yeah, we have sent a nudge and we did that today at this time. So all these different things are here. If you are in this view, you can also click on skill summary, and here you can see all skills, but of course you can also see all certificates a person has. So this will be listed here, so you have full overview when you're reviewing an employee. Now, this was everything about certifications. So users can easily add it, managers, admins, everybody can add certifications. You can validate skills and competences. You can then see beautiful reports. You can create your own reports. You can add requirements. You can add training material, and you can summarize it all. If you have any questions or need support in any way or form, remember that you can always tap in the bottom right and contact support for whatever may be. Thank you so much for watching this, and we wish you an amazing day.